Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Christy Brower. Hello.
Hello, hey everybody.
How's it going?
It is good. It is good. I have had a fun little brainchild that resulted in something today that's been pretty great.
Yeah.
We launched another secondary podcast. We have our main podcast, True Crime Squad. We also have Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, The Real Story, where we put exclusively all of our Daybell Vallow content. Well, we
Mhm.
now have Mormon Misdeeds Unveiled,
Mhm.
also by True Crime Squad, and we're just going to use it to focus entirely on all of the Mormon related crime that we cover. Because it turns out it's a lot. We talk about these kinds of
Mhm.
cases all the time. And, there's been a lot of Mormon crime in the news as of late. And so we thought it might be a good thing
Indeed.
to focus a podcast specifically on that content. And yeah, it's all up and running. It's over there. It's out on Spotify. It's been submitted to a whole bunch
Mhm.
of other places too. Please feel free to go and like and subscribe. So it's just podcast because everything else is here on our YouTube, and
Yeah.
we're always working on improving our YouTube playlists and stuff. And so we'll put
Yeah.
out a Mormon playlist. But yeah, if you want to just go listen to Mormon focused only, I think we've got 6 episodes up over there, and we're just going to keep adding.
Mhm.
So I was excited about that, and I did it.
It was a great brainchild. Way to go.
Thank you. Thank you for
We
the
love
artwork. You did a great job.
it. You're welcome. Still hoping we don't get sued, but okay.
We'll see. You know, it's possible something might, we might get told to take something down. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe,
Maybe
then
not.
maybe not. You know, we've managed so far to kind of just be small potatoes. See what I did there? But,
Just
which is,
little Idahoans over here.
right. Just doing what we do. Well, good,
But
good, good.
we're stepping out a little more into the ex Mormon and Mormon crime content world,
Mhm,
and we shall see where this goes. But I'm
mhm.
excited about it. I think it's good.
Yeah,
I know it's
me
important to
too.
us. It's important for us to cover it.
Mhm.
And y'all seem to like it too. So
Indeed.
if you
Yeah.
don't mind, go over there, keep watch an episode or two, give us a like and a follow on Spotify and anywhere else you can find it, because that's
Yeah.
always helpful to us.
It is for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is our Tuesday episode. We're trying really hard to get back on
Yes,
track this week and like
we
get back to
are.
where we have 3 good solid episodes a week and case updates. Over the summer we got
Yes.
a little off track due to busyness in life and what the
Yeah.
there's a fly in here.
Are you
Uh,
being attacked?
but at any rate, so this is our Tuesday episode. And I'm things in the true crime world are so weird right now. This week
Guys,
is just wild. So you're going to kick us off with some WTF, deservedly so. So let's go.
I sure am. Let's do it. Friends, you may have been seeing pictures like this pop up all over on news sites. Danelo Cavalcante is still at large, my friends. Okay, if you don't know who he is a man that has been on the run for almost 2 weeks after he escaped a Pennsylvania prison. Escaped, spider walked
Mhm.
his way up onto the roof, crawled through razor wire, got out.
Mhm.
He has been gone for nearly 2 weeks. He was
Mhm.
just sentenced for to life in prison for the murder of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He is also suspected of a murder in Brazil. He is a dangerous person.
Yeah.
However, the dude is running circles around the police. And
Oh
this
my gosh.
is just, I can't imagine. If you live in this area in Pennsylvania, I bet you are absolutely furious. They have
Yeah.
so many pictures of this guy on people's ring cams and on trail cams And I mean, they know of at least a couple of vehicles he has stolen and driven till they ran out of gas. And now it looks like there's some thought that he may have a family member that might be assisting him. I'm just like, how does this guy, he's not invisible, you
He seems
know,
to
like,
be. He seems to be.
what? Now, I will say that this is September 11th, 2023 at
Mhm,
7:31 p.m. At this moment, he is still uncaptured.
mhm,
I realize there's going to come a time when they're going to capture him. Fingers crossed, you guys.
mhm,
But I think this is rather notable and rather scary that this guy has been
yeah,
able to elude, that he was able to get out in the first place, terrified.
yeah,
Secondly,
he's
that he's been out for almost 2 weeks. He's robbing every time they see pictures of him, he's got a new outfit on. He's now
mhm,
shaved his beard. Then he's been driving some different vehicles.
mhm,
What the hell? He's out living his best life, smirking into people's ring cams.
stealing,
It's like
like,
he thinks,
fruits and vegetables and peas and well, that's a vegetable, off of
yeah,
people's
yeah,
counters.
but like stealing food, um,
Now,
and just
luckily
getting away with it.
yeah, luckily, there has not been any reports of violence at his hand. Hopefully, there
Thank
won't be
God.
against anyone. The dude is a convicted murderer, for God's sake,
Yeah,
but
it's scary. You don't know what this person would do when backed into a corner. And so far, he's been quite successful. But at some point, somebody's going to catch this guy. And it does worry me. I mean, it's
mhm,
very likely that he is now armed. He's stealing all kinds of shit from
yeah,
people. You bet he's
well, who
got
knows?
weapons.
Well, and
So,
supposedly, they just found his shoes in the woods,
yeah,
supposedly, but now
but
they've
his
shifted their
shoes,
whole perimeter
I
of search
mean,
again.
how many pairs does he have at this point? I mean, how
And how
many
do they
pairs have
know they're
gone missing
his?
in this area? Yeah,
Yeah,
how do they know they're, and maybe they've got scent dogs or something that are,
mm,
because they would have had things from him in the prison. But
sure.
I don't know. All I know is I am dumbfounded that days continue to go by when this guy is still on the loose. So
Mhm,
fingers crossed. Those of you in Pennsylvania, feel free to be screaming from the rooftops because
mhm,
they've got to do something better here. We got to get this guy under control before he
yeah,
hurts somebody else.
yeah, this is bananas for sure.
It is. And with that, Katie, I'm going to send the mic back your way for our main case.
Okay. This case grabbed my attention today because it's a bit of a rarity. This is a
Hmm,
possible serial killer. We've had a lot of possible serial killers surface this year
we
in
sure
the
have.
States. Now, this is a possible serial killer in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
This is Ronaldo Ricketts.
Okay.
He is he was initially accused of murdering two homeless men, yet again,
Mm.
with the murdering of homeless people,
Oh, God.
via stabbing, and ended up in custody yeah, by attacking a woman and trying to rape her. And
Oh,
she
God.
ran from him. And the police happened to be in the very area. They were doing a tour around Jamaica with some dignitaries and heard a woman screaming and came running. And she said, "That man over there uh, had me captured in his car and was trying to rape me." And so they picked him up and took him in and were able to
Holy cow.
link him to forensically to the murders of the two homeless men. And while in custody, he admitted to more murders.
Oh, no.
So he's now been charged with murdering three men and one woman. And it sounds like there's another charge on the way, at least one more charge on the way.
Wow.
So
Wow, wow.
a neighbor was interviewed today who wanted to stay uh, on the DL, but she said his parents are decent people, father decent, mother decent. I don't know why he's doing this to his parents, which I thought was an interesting statement. Uh,
Cultural, probably,
yeah,
you know,
this was in the
interesting.
Jamaica Observer. She said, I know him as a Christian, a decent boy. He went to Barracks Road Primary and then went to Herbert Morrison Technical, where he passed a number of subjects.
Hmm.
So he's from Westgate Hills in Montego Bay.
Okay.
and it looks like these murders have been happening somewhere in the area of Montego Bay.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
It looks
What a
like
crazy coincidence that
mhm.
police would be right there when he tried to
Yeah,
assault that woman.
yeah. Ronaldo is 25. So the first crime that we know of happened on Friday, July 28th. This was one of the, homeless men that was
Of this
stabbed.
year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this all just
Oh,
happened here in the
this is
last, like,
all just happened.
2 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Friday, July 28th was the first. The second was another homeless man, around 11:45 PM on August 19th. Again, stab wounds. At this point, the police were begging homeless people to stay in shelters. You are not safe. Interesting, this has happened similarly in the US this last year. And at that time, too, some homeless people were like, yeah, not doing it. And in this case, that was the same. Some people did not want to stay in a shelter, which, that's their choice, of course. But people, it was very scary. It was very scary, to
Mm,
see this happening. So then, of course,
yeah.
we know about the assault that there's some charges pending on that as well. Uh,
Mm,
but then, of course, he then apparently did say, take responsibility for other murders. Now, there is a woman whose identity the police don't know yet as well, a stabbed to
oh,
death woman
really?
that they believe he killed that they haven't been able to identify. So they're still working on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, amazing that he's been picked up this quickly.
Hmm.
I mean, hopefully they are aware now of everything he's done. Hopefully this doesn't go
Hopefully.
back further because that's fast and that's, wow, a lot of escalation.
Yep. Yep.
Terrifying.
Yeah. So they don't know the name of all of his victims, but some of them, uh, the first was a man, a 20-year-old named Leonardo Lewis, also known as Rahim or Akeem. He was from Breadfruit Road. Another woman, a woman named Catherine Hall in Montego Bay. And then, of course, the woman whose identity they don't know yet. So she hasn't been quite
Wow.
listed as a victim yet, but they're working on that. Uh, and then, of course, so the unidentified woman, she was found on Jimmy Cliff Boulevard, and she's of dark complexion, slim build, and about 5 feet 6 inches tall, with black and gray hair. They believe she's in her 60s. She was wearing a white blouse and multicolored skirt at the time of her death. And they're asking people, please, if you're missing someone, we don't know who this lady
Speak
is.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. Wow.
He's now been charged in the relation to the death of a man named Mark Thompson as well.
Man,
Yep.
yikes.
But there's some other deaths too, and another unidentified man. Anyway, it's a bit messy right now because they just don't know, you know.
Right.
Well, we don't exactly know where this ends or what you know, how many charges there will be or how many deaths there's going to be. But that took me on a little bit of research because I was like, surely Jamaica is not like a hotbed of serial killers. Jamaica is a hotbed of murder, however. There's apparently a
Yeah.
big gang problem in Jamaica, and that there is a pretty significant problem with murders as a whole in
Mm,
Jamaica. So, a few things to know about Jamaica. Jamaica is in the Caribbean Sea. It
mhm.
is about half the size of New Jersey.
Oh, wow. So it is not a very big place at all.
Not a very big place. However, the population is 2.28 million.
Oh, wow.
So there are, a fair amount of people on this island, especially for the size.
Yes, there are.
So yeah, so it's the third largest island in the Greater Antilles after Cuba and Hispaniola. So
Mm,
that's the demographics and the geographics of Jamaica. But reading about this serial killer and then doing some research to find out other serial killers in Jamaica, there's not much. One of the serial killers that they claim was born in Jamaica in 1954, but actually all of his murders happened in England. So I didn't really
Oh,
include him in my search because he's Jamaican, but he didn't commit those murders in Jamaica. And then one other was a 17-year-old boy from Jamaica that was involved in all of those shootings that happened in DC several in about
oh,
20 years ago. But he
yeah.
too was born in Jamaica, but doesn't actually live in Jamaica. But what I did find was the original Jamaican serial killer
Mm,
also wasn't Jamaican, he was Scottish, but that
mm.
actually happened in Jamaica. But to cover that case, we have to go all the way back to the 1700s to
Whoa.
the very first serial killer known to the Americas at all.
Oh, really?
Which also brought up a very interesting point. Did you know that there was an Edinburgh Castle in Jamaica?
No,
Apparently, there was.
I had no idea.
These are the ruins, and there's a lot of local lore about not going up there because it's very, very haunted.
Really?
Well, I will tell you why.
Interesting.
We are talking about Lewis Hutchinson. He was known as the Mad Doctor of Edinburgh Castle and
Oh,
Jamaica's first recorded serial killer.
Mad Doctor does not sound good.
No. So he moved to Jamaica in the 1760s, and travelers in the area started to disappear. He was born in
Hmm.
Scotland in 1733, and after he was trained in medicine, he moved to Jamaica when he was about 30 years old. He purchased an estate there in St. Anne Parish, which apparently at the time was far from any populated area. There's also a lot of legend that he stole all of the cattle that he raised while he lived there.
Oh, really?
But he built had this castle built for him, and he named it Edinburgh Castle.
Wow.
When travelers would pass from St. Anne's Bay towards Kingston, he was killing them, either by killing them with a single shot or charming them, inviting them in for food and entertainment, and then murdering them inside the castle.
God.
Yeah,
Any clue as to why he was doing these terrible things?
they just called him a madman. He also owned
Yeah.
a significant amount of slaves, unfortunately, people that he had purchased, brutalized, and terrorized, and the slaves were in charge of disposing of the bodies. There is lore that he drank the blood of his victims, that he dismembered his victims, and that
Mm.
there was a sinkhole on that estate that was nicknamed Hutchinson's Hole that the slaves were made to throw the victims into.
Oh, God.
He got so bold in his killings that he actually shot and killed a soldier in front of other people
Oh, my God.
that, that weren't his slaves that he could control. And so he tried to make a run for it. He went to Old Harbor and leapt on a ship and tried to just get the hell out of town, but he was captured by the Royal Navy. He stood trial. They only charged him for the death of the soldier, and he was found guilty and he was hanged. But when they searched his castle, they found remnants of at least 43 more victims, only
Oh, my
from
God.
a huge amount of clothing and 43 watches, pocket watches.
Oh,
So, in likelihood, there were probably a lot more than 43,
because not
but those.
everybody had a pocket watch, but
Mhm.
holy crap, that's horrible.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that something?
That
So,
is. That's unreal. I'd not ever heard that story. And I had no idea about an Edinburgh Castle in
mhm.
Jamaica. That's wild.
Right. So, locals warn visitors not to go up there because it is haunted and evil.
Wow.
Now, I know that
I
some
can
people
see
from
why you feel
Jamaica
that way.
are definitely going to come and comment on this video and say it no it isn't, and I agree with you. But that's that's what they say. That's what I'm reading.
That's the
So,
story told. Gotcha.
yep. Uh, Incidentally, in case you're curious, Jamaica was made an English colony in 1655, and then a British
Okay.
colony in 1707, and then gained its independence in 1962.
Yeah.
So they've had a long history of being colonized and unfortunately being enslaved as well.
And
Uh,
their colonizer
yep.
also became their serial killer. Wow.
Hmm.
God, that's
Yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah. Isn't that something? So we're going to keep an eye on old Ronaldo Ricketts here and see
Yeah.
what more comes from this, because it's possible that there could be, a handful more victims. Maybe it seems like this all just started. So
Yeah, and I hope that's the case, and that they're
yeah.
not gonna find a whole other spate of murders that he's done in the past. It's just
Hmm.
to catch somebody that early is unusual, but
It
hopefully
is.
super lucky.
Yeah, hopefully so. So much love to the families of all of the victims and all of the people that have been affected by this. These killings have kept that area absolutely terrorized now for 2 months, especially in the homeless populations, not knowing
Yeah.
who is killing these people. So
God, that's awful.
yeah, so we'll keep a close eye on it. But with
Mhm.
that, I'm going to turn the mic back over to you for some breaking true crime news.
Yes. Friends from Alabama, this face may look familiar to you. This is Mason Sisk. Mason Sisk was just sentenced, finally, for the murders of 5 members of his family, his mother, father, and 3 siblings. I had not covered this case before, but I have found it rather chilling and wanted to share it with you. And those of you who are from Alabama, you probably know this story.
Hmm.
He was convicted of killing them on September 2nd of 2019 in Elkmont, Alabama, and he was 14 years old at the time of those murders.
Oh my God. Wow.
The uh, Limestone County Circuit Judge, Chad Wise, who just sentenced him, wrote that the crime was ghastly, disturbing, and draped in unmitigated evil.
Wow.
He also said, I prosecuted a lot of people in my career. This is the prosecutor, sorry,
Hmm.
not the judge, saying that. And I can tell you that out of all of those people, only 4 or 5 people scare the hell out of me. And he's at the top of that list.
Wow.
Let's see. Judge Wise also said Mason Sisk is clearly one of the most dangerous people who will ever be sentenced in Limestone County. With this sentence today, Judge Wise has ensured that Mason Sisk will never threaten another child's safety and well being. Um, Sisk
Wow.
did not offer any remarks prior to his sentencing. He did not speak for himself prior. There were a lot of questions around what to do with him because he was 14 years old when he committed this crime.
Right.
He is ineligible for the death penalty, but he is, in fact, going to be held for life without the possibility of parole.
Hmm.
He did admit to the killings shortly after, saying that he was fed up of all the fighting in his family. So this was his solution, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Douglas Prater, who is a brother of Mary Sisk, who was Mason's mother, said, my family has suffered so much. We haven't been able to rest for years because of what you did. You were accepted into our family since you were 4. I remember driving you. So this was a stepmother. Since you were 4, I
Wow.
remember driving you to get video games and basketball practice. You're in our family photos, and that's all we have left to remember of your family. A whole family has been lost. I lost my sister Mary. She loved you, and you killed her.
Wow.
Yeah, it's chilling. This young man is chilling, and I think the only thing that they can do is put him away. As I recall, he committed the murders, and then the neighbors heard gunshots. So someone called the police. When the police arrived, he came staggering out.
Mhm.
and said that he had managed to survive while his family members had been shot, but they
Uh-huh.
found that to not be the case pretty quickly. But you look at that face, there's nothing in those eyes. That looks like
Nothing
a
at all.
psychopath to me.
Mhm.
But
No, prison
at least,
forever is where he belongs, for sure.
I mean, does it ever make you wonder if we're ever going to have anything better than that? Any other solution better than lock them up forever or kill them? It's I do think about it. I mean, not that I think he
Yeah,
deserves an opportunity, but are we ever going to figure out how to rehabilitate people like this and how to catch this kind of disorder in someone before it occurs?
I I don't know because
I don't know either.
it it's an interesting conversation because I had mentioned earlier a serial killer that from Jamaica that ended up in London or in
Yes,
England. And the UK tried to rehabilitate him.
really.
He murdered his first wife. They had a fight because she said that he was not. She wouldn't let him go to church because he wasn't dressed appropriately, and he smashed her over the head with a vase and pushed her off of their, I think, ninth story balcony of their apartment and killed her. And he only did a few years in prison because the defense was a mental instability of some sort. And then he killed his second wife
Oh my God.
because he was angry at her over something. I think she tried to leave him because she thought he was having an affair, if I've got that right.
Mm.
And then, and he only did a short stint again because of mental instability. When he got out, he was under heavy supervision from the government. He had social workers and people like that that were keeping an eye on him and coming by. He was supposed to report anytime he was to get into a relationship with a woman because that seemed to be the only time he killed people when he was in relation.
Holy shit. And they just let him keep doing it.
He got in, guess what? A relationship with another woman in 2016 and killed her too. And now he's back
My
behind
God.
bars again. So I don't know the answer to that. In his
Terrifying.
case, had he just been locked away after he brutally killed the first woman, the other two would have lived, you
Yeah.
know? But they did keep giving him chances because there was a mental health defense. Uh, but that, he didn't need any more chances. He didn't deserve any more chances. The third woman finally learned of his other crimes and decided to break up with him because I don't know, she didn't want to get killed and she got killed
Right?
anyway.
God. But put him back out on the street. This is why we don't know what else to do with them.
It entirely is. Yeah. Yeah.
But it does. It's just a thought that it is one of the things I think about a lot with crime.
Mhm.
Is there ever going to be a time in which we know what causes something like this in someone, and
It's
we know
hard
how
to
to
know.
fix it?
Yeah. His
You
name,
know,
by the way, was oh good lord, I just had it. Theodore Johnson.
Theodore Johnson. Wow, I
Theodore
had not heard
Johnson.
that story before.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So I'm with you. I don't know the answer. I don't know. In the US, we over imprison, you know.
Right.
The
Definitely
US is
over
well
incarcerate
known for having it, way too many people in prison, and I agree with that. But at the same
and
time,
harsh
how come
sentences.
we have this? How can we
Right.
have this?
Well, I think that these particular cases are not the ones that are under scrutiny,
Yeah,
when it comes to incarceration and long sentences. But it does make you wonder, like, is this the best we're ever going to have? Because it's all we've ever had. Like,
right.
it's not like there was a time in which we developed something better other than the death penalty or imprisonment. We never have
No,
when it comes to psychopaths.
right, for sure. Yeah,
I don't know. I just wish we could figure it out. It's certainly something that kind of plagues my mind about how we
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah, yep. Agreed.
But at least for Alabama, we know that Mason Sisk will never be released.
Yeah.
And I hope for the sake of his family that they have the opportunity now to move on from this,
Hmm.
now that they're not uh, going to have to be a part of the trial or the sentencing or anything, that they
Yeah.
can find some peace.
Yeah. Certainly. Certainly. Wowza.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, there you have it. That is Tuesday. So we're going to be back on Wednesday with the brand new episode, and we'll be back Wednesday night with case updates. And of course, there's all kinds of
Hmm.
things at play per normal. Hopefully, on Wednesday we can return and tell you that, you know, Danelo
Danelo
Cavalcante has
Cavalcante,
been apprehended,
he's
but
caught.
hell, we don't know.
Right. We really don't. We're pretty concerned about it, frankly.
hmm Also, reading today that Ruby Frankie and Jody Hutchinson are both in the middle of health crises,
Oh, Hildebrand.
or Hildebrandt, yeah. Yeah, so that'll
Yes, I
be
saw that too. That
yeah,
they're both having big medical crises now that they're in
yes.
jail. Because they don't
Weird.
like being confined. Strange.
Hmm. Huh.
Darn.
Yeah. But that's what we've got. So thanks you guys so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe. If ever you wanted to give us a tip, you can do that by going to truecrimesquad.com, and you can buy us a coffee there, or there's other ways. I believe our PayPal is
Or
there.
PayPal.
If yeah, if you would
Mhm.
like to give us a tip, certainly not required, but always appreciated. Also, of
Very much
course, we
so.
have a Patreon, and you can go find True Crime Squad on Patreon, and we put out 2 brand new episodes every month, only for our patrons. So if you want
Yeah.
to listen or watch those, you can do that over there as well. So that's
We're
what's up.
we've got to be nearing 100 episodes on that Patreon.
Oh,
That
I
are
would think
cases
so.
y'all have never seen on our regular accounts. So
Yep.
it's a great
hmm
opportunity to get some more content from us.
Well, and we've been known to do episodes over there that we didn't feel fully safe putting out publicly. Uh,
True.
Sometimes, because we've done a lot of cults over there, but other cases too that, just, hit a little too hard for us to wanna be real public with, so you'll see
Hmm.
what's, been rolling around in our brains if you go over there. Check out the
Yes, you will.
Patreon. But, as always, thank you so much for being here. Please take good care of yourselves, you deserve it. Be kind to yourselves, and obviously, it's September now, so go have a pumpkin spice latte, duh.
Please do. Send
Mhm.
us one too.
Yeah. This has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad. Take care.
Bye, everybody.